Shooters have this condition? Hello and welcome to the channel. It seems I cannot tear myself away from US politics this week. For good reason. I tell you why. We were all shocked to learn that Donald Trump was targeted in an assassination attempt this week. He survived, but sadly a man standing in his vicinity lost his life and others were injured. The shooter was killed by the Secret Service agents protecting Trump. His name was Thomas Matthew Crooks. We know something of his political affiliations, his family life, etc., but not of his medical history. That may come in time, but so far, at the time of recording this video, not much has come to light. But as you will understand in this video, it's not so much Thomas Crooks as an individual that has piqued my curiosity, but rather the wider collective. What's special about people who make a conscious decision to pick up a gun and go shoot a complete stranger, or indeed their own family and friends? In the UK, where I am from, we are not so used to the gun crime levels of the USA. Of course, criminals will always find weapons of destruction, so there is gun crime, especially in the big cities like London. Even though carrying a gun in the UK is illegal. It is precisely because gun crime in the UK is so rare that when news like this breaks, it shocks us. Thomas Hamilton, a loner type, picked up 4 guns and butchered children and their teachers in a primary school in Dunblane in Scotland in 1996. Perhaps London is better known for knife crime. I remember many years ago there was an armistice where knives were collected by the police at various collection points around the city. I am not convinced it went anywhere though. What I can tell you is that when I was a young medical student looking for a suitable location for the most gory wounds to satisfy my interest in emergency medicine, I had only 2 countries on my list: South Africa and the USA. In the end, I went to the USA, and horrific gun crime wounds galore that I saw there will haunt me forever. I thought I was tough. Turns out there is a limit to how much queasiness one can stomach in a day. In Switzerland, gun carriage is not a crime, but Switzerland is anyway a low crime country in general. I feel safer in Switzerland than I ever did in London. What we experience of gun crime in Switzerland typically is a depressed and suicidal farmer taking his own life, sometimes also the lives of his wife and children, with a gun he acquired when he did military service, which is of course obligatory for all Swiss men of able body, unless you can prove you are sick, otherwise incapacitated, or you are Catholic and went to Rome to protect the Pope as a Swiss guard. We don't hear of Swiss politicians being targeted in the streets, or school children and their teachers being shot and wounded in broad daylight here in Switzerland. Here are some gun crime statistics for the USA since 2013. We are only halfway through 2024. Naturally, the media is alight with the topic of gun crime. With this new incident, commentators are looking at photos of these shooters and asking, to my mind, a pertinent question. Is there something amiss with these people? I am hearing more and more this chorus from political analysts all over the world. Isn't there something funny about these guys? Funny as in odd, strange. I think I agree. Let me show you what they mean. Thomas Crooks, Nicholas Cruz, Ethan Crumbley, Salvador Ramos, Elliot Roger, to name a few. For me, the overwhelming similarity in all these photos is that spaced out look. Can all of these guys have been on drugs, one wonders? If so, which drugs? In my humble opinion, whether or not drugs play a part is only a partial part of the picture. Some commenters mentioned fetal alcohol syndrome, FAS, or fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, FASD, in this post. I promised to look into it because I knew, well, not much on the subject. And then a funny thing happened. Researching true crimes, I kept seeing this crop up time and time again. It's a thing in the criminal justice world. Perhaps unsurprisingly, given the signs and symptoms. There is a typical FAS face. In the case of Nicholas Cruz especially, the theme of FAS has been brought up. But also in the case of Ethan Crumbley, where the judge was considering whether to assess for this condition. Should this condition be sought in every criminal case? If up to 36% of lawbreakers may be victims of this condition, is this not a no-brainer? So, exactly how much drinking in pregnancy do we need to cause this problem? Here is the current advice on this. Yes, the answer is we don't know. But here are known risk factors, if that helps, with a hastily added proviso, caveat. So there we have it. Not a drop, ladies, if you can help it. And if it happens accidentally, well, no further accidents, please. Of course, there are many more complications of fetal alcohol syndrome than just crime. I focus on crime in this video, but perhaps another time I shall delve into the difficulties the individuals who face this challenge have to endure lifelong. In related news, there are famous faces we know of who have this. In the next video on fetal alcohol syndrome, I shall mention their stories and the good work they do to highlight this problem. This is a medical problem, of course, that is foisted on an unborn child. It is not their fault. It is a life sentence where you have committed no crime yourself. In this sense, this is one of the saddest conditions to have. It also announces on the rooftops that your mother was or is a drunk. This is no flattering image of a mum for anyone. Do you have further questions on fetal alcohol syndrome now that I have gone and studied it some more? Should there be a wider education program on this for women and girls? Whatever you wish to ask, do so. I am listening. Askadoc.